Hi there everybody, this is the Son of the Morning here with you, and I'm here to bring you another Ye Olde Comic-Con Modern Comic Review. What you see in front of you today is The Amazing Mary Jane 1 through 5. Now, not the typical comic book that I would pick up, but I happen to like the work of Leah Williams, so I noticed she was the writer, so I picked up the first issue and really enjoyed it, and so I decided to continue along. Now, I'm not here to make a 90-minute video, so I'm not going to go through the entire thing. We'll do more a review of number 5 here towards the end of the video, but for the major plot points of this series, okay, so we all know Mary Jane Watson. She is Spider-Man's gal. She's also an actor, supermodel, those sorts of things. And in this series, she is starring or co-starring in a movie that is about the life of Mysterio. Now, the thing that's funny about it is that Mysterio has actually kidnapped a director whose name is Cage and is now posing as him, using his illusions to pose as him to create a sympathetic movie about a villain such as Mysterio or Quentin Beck. So we'll just quickly flip through some of the stuff here before we get to issue number 5, where we'll really sort of dive into it deeply. I also really like the art here by Carlos Gomez in this book. Everything about this book is just a lot of fun to me. Now, it starts off here, it looks like we've got a battle on our hands, and Mary Jane's character is having a battle here with some of Spider-Man's villains. We've got Kraven the Hunter and we've got Doc Ock. And we'll just sort of flip around. Now, I'll just note that throughout they're having difficulties getting funding. They're having problems with filming. And I'll just say that Mary Jane is the catalyst for everything actually happening. She's the one who makes everything work. I'll flip around a little bit more just because I want you to see some of this art. And of course, Mary Jane doesn't originally know that she's working with Quentin Beck. She thinks she's actually working with a director. When she finds out, she decides that she has sympathy for Quentin and that she's going to help him make the movie, and she's going to have to keep this a secret from Spider-Man, unfortunately. So, just flip around a little bit. We see that Quentin isn't exactly the best mannered director on set, and that's sort of, Mary Jane doesn't like it. She's trying to do her best to try to solve the situation. As they're filming, things keep getting worse, but Mary Jane keeps coming in and solving the problems for her. Here's at the end, she's talking to Peter on the phone, letting him know everything's going great. Of course, she feels bad about the fact that she's lying to him. And then, of course, Peter comes home after a long night and gets to meet up with MJ. Now, here I'll just show you to be continued. It shows here, you can see that we've got some villains on our hands, and it appears that they're headed to Los Angeles. So, they obviously don't like the idea of this movie being made, even though they're not aware of the fact that it is Mysterio who's behind it, and I believe they are sort of on the outs with Mysterio at this point anyway. Again, we'll just quickly flipping through issue number 2, just to to show you some of this really nice, good, fun art. Like I said, they were having problems with funding. The crews are coming to take back the equipment that they haven't actually paid for. Or the funding had been taken away. I like this here. The guy's trying to take this chair away with Mary Jane still sitting in it. Very humorous. There's a lot of comedy. This is very much a light-hearted series. A lot of fun, something I'm really, really enjoying. Now, of course, with all these problems, now Mysterio doesn't know what he's going to do, but Mary Jane seems to be able to come up with a solution for every problem. And that, I don't want to get in too much about it, but we'll highlight that a little bit later. Now, here we see we have some issues. I think they call them the Savage Six in this book. They're not too pleased with the situation of this film being made, as I said, and they you know that they're gonna do their best to get in the way and make sure that doesn't happen. So, like I said, I'm just sort of showing you some of the art here. At the end here, of course, they're doing their filming when the bad guys show up. And yes, they are calling them the Savage Six in this one, in here. So at the very end of this issue, the Savage Six show up to destroy the set to put an end to this movie. Issue number 3. And of course, as we left it off, they were being attacked by the Savage Six. We've got Scorpion here throwing his tail around, or his stinger, causing a ruckus. All sorts of problems, and Mysterio is still staying in his secret identity, as he's hiding out as this Director Cage. He hasn't revealed himself yet. Rhino is clearly not happy about these sorts of things. What can you do? They are here to destroy the set. So they get into the car here and they're racing off just to get away from them. One thing that's worth mentioning, this guy, his name is escaping me right now, but he is a guy who is an actor, a very, very famous actor that sort of had enough of the limelight and retired, and this is him sort of coming out of retirement too, because he believes in the project or something to that effect. Of course, they're on their getaway. Mary Jane and Quentin are trying to figure out what they're gonna do. Mary Jane is very much, like I said, the catalyst to getting everything going. She helps Mysterio out here. She saves him. She runs after the truck, gets in there, and she says, "Mind if I drive?" It's a great illustration of Mary Jane right there. So they're escaping. Like I said, I don't want to go too deep into all of this stuff. They do get out of there and do eventually go and try to acquire more funding as well. And we'll get to there, of course. But at where we leave it, the Savage Six are very unhappy that they were unable to carry out what they were trying to do, trying to end the film. And then we get to a point where they find a new location. And so all of this is, of course, due to Mary Jane's hard work. It's kind of funny. I like that the guy who's playing Spider-Man, he says, "I hate this place. It's extremely haunted." It's just sort of a funny juxtaposition to, Spider-Man, who dives into any sort of conflict without any fear. This guy's just worried about the place being haunted. At any rate, they're able to resume their filming here, and everything's going okay. Mary Jane checks in with Spidey. He's out on a mission. Everything's going all right there. And then they are doing their filming of a big scene here between Mysterio and Spider-Man. And at the end here, this is very important. The set's crashing. We already know that the guy playing Peter Parker thinks that the place is haunted, and he decides he can't be a part of it. Mary Jane tries to calm him down. Doesn't work. Unfortunately, he quits, and this is problematic. Mysterio says, well, how are we supposed to finish the movie without a Spider-Man? But, as we've talked about so far, MJ's gonna come up with something, isn't she? Alright. So, next issue number 4. I really like the cover of this issue. I just wanted to stop for a second there. Great illustration of Mary Jane with Rhino. I like how she's just grabbing onto the horn and got the fist fully clenched, ready to go. So, of course, Mysterio is getting less and less patient with his crew, because we all know how Mysterio, his temperament isn't always the best. But Mary Jane is always there to sort of solve the problems and help him out. And they have this issue, like we just mentioned. The guy playing Spider-Man is afraid. He's running away. He's left the shoot. But Mary Jane comes up with the plan. She's gonna be Spider-Man. And after all, who knows Spidey better than Mary Jane? So, you know, they talk about it. How's this gonna work? You're a woman. This, that, the other thing. They talk about, we'll fix it in post-production. It's one scene. Nobody's gonna know the difference. That sort of thing. And so they go about their filming. They're going, we got some ads. Doing the filming, they are, of course, still hiding out, sort of incognito filming this so the Savage Six don't find them. But, you know, that was never actually going to last. And the Savage Six sort of find their way there. He says here, but don't worry, we're here to... I can't see it, sorry. Don't worry, we're here to make it a fair fight. Okay. Vulture and the Savage Six, they are here to make it in a fair fight against regular people. Sounds awesome. Anyway, like I said, we're not covering too much of all of this stuff. But I do like how, you know, it's the constant problems, constant Mary Jane solving the problems. I like this scene here. He's saying, sending blind items to the press about Mary Jane was a stupid idea. I guess one part I had they tried to smear Mary Jane. It didn't work. So, they're trying to come up with a plan of how they're going to stop this film. Peter Parker is, of course, busy at Empire State University. He's working on stuff. They're sort of having a conversation, him and Mary Jane. He says that he's sorry that I'm a little at war with myself right now. This is a very confusing time for me, and maybe you, depending on the context of that photo you just sent, I mean, you know, you're gorgeous, you're my girlfriend, blah, 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 but I have so many big feelings. Basically, he's responding to the fact that she sent him a picture of herself. in the Spidey suit. And you could understand how that could possibly cause some consternation for Peter, but hey, the Spidey suit looks pretty good on her. And so they're trying to finish up photography here. Got some issues. Here's the scene where Mary Jane is filming like the climactic scene against Mysterio. And of course, nothing is gonna ever end well for the people on the set or the people who've been involved in the movie. So here's Buddy here who was afraid to keep playing Spider-Man. Vulture finds him, the Savage Six, with him. He says, how very fortunate for the Savage Six. And the guy, of course, being the stand-up guy he is, says, I'll tell you anything you want. I know, I just don't hurt me. And he said, Charlie, where is Cage? Where is he filming? So at the end here, you kind of know the Savage Six are gonna find out where filming is taking place, and that will bring us to the final issue, or not the final issue, the most recent issue that came out this week, The Amazing Mary Jane number 5. I really like this cover. I really like the illustration of Mary Jane in the Spider-Man suit. I really like the illustration of the villains around her. I think it looks fantastic. Alright, so they're able to do their filming when they're starting out. Nothing serious is happening here. They're just sort of doing the filming. And I'll flip through a little bit because there's nothing too amazing happening here. Except that they're about to wrap photography. So this is actually supposed to be Mary Jane's last day of filming, her last day on set, her last responsibilities with the film. But they get some good news. They get a call that I guess whoever it was that had given them some money to make the movie had seen some of the clips, believes in the project, and now wants to invest more. And here Mary Jane says, really? Wow, that means... And then the assistant director says, we could go back and shoot all the on-location B-roll footage we cut due to budget constraints. We could shoot all... And Mary Jane says, we could shoot all my character scenes that we had to cut. And Mysterio is happy about this because he realizes that the investor is now trusting them. And they have one last scene that they have to film. So, one last scene. It's a big battle scene. Everything's going great. Mary Jane is happy. Mysterio is happy. The crew is happy because not only are they about to wrap, they also have just learned that they have received more funding that will allow them to make this an even better movie. So, you know, everything's going great for them. Getting ready to shoot the final scene. Everything is going swimmingly. Everything's happy. They're telling Mary Jane she doesn't even need to be there. She's not part of the scene. She's done her job. She can go back to the trailer. So she goes back to the trailer and she just sort of calls Spider-Man to let him know that, you know, everything is almost done. She's super happy. Can't wait to see him. All that wonderful stuff. Gotta say, I really, really like the way that Carlos Gomez. The penciler and the colorist have very similar last names, or have the same first names and similar last names. I didn't want to get it wrong. So, very much like the way that Carlos Gomez illustrates her there. Sorry about that. And so they're filming the last scene here. And like I said, everything had been going just fine. Everything was wonderful, and you knew that that couldn't just possibly last, right? So here are the Savage Six. They have arrived to cause problems. That's what they do. But Mary Jane is having none of it. I love her dialogue here. She says, well, if it isn't the B-list Savage Six, didn't you fellas learn the first time? This is a closed set. And then, I don't think Mary Jane has any superpowers. I just think that she is angry with these people, and so she starts fighting back. She smacks Vulture, and then a big fight ensues. She uses the fact that Rhino is standing on an angle to kick stuff out from under him to knock him off his feet, using set pieces to take out the others. And then here we have a scene here where the X-Men of the 60s, it looks like, by how they're dressed, show up, and Mary Jane's hiding behind Marvel Girl. She says, bless you, Quentin, for insisting on authenticity and using real robots. I'm gonna hang back with you, Marvel Girl. Let's strategize and do things the right way. I just thought that was awesome. So, they're jumping around. Bad guys saying, there's too many of them. Scorpion misses when he can't get his stinger out of the ground. Bad stuff is happening for them, but then the Vulture picks up Mary Jane and swoops her away and drops her down, and she crashes. She's a little bit hurt, but she's okay. Now, of course, then she says, we got it, everybody. That's a wrap. You know what? You have a point, Vulture. She says, it's kind of funny. Everybody's happy. They did it. They're whooping it up. Everybody's happy. And Mary Jane is congratulating everybody. I'm assuming, just because it sort of came out of nowhere, that the whole X-Men thing, especially that they're like the original X-Men team in their original outfits, I'm thinking this was actually Mysterio using an illusion. I could be wrong. I've been wrong on many things before. But at any rate, Mary Jane's happy everything is over, and she decides she's going to get out of the way here and allow the Savage Six go at it with Mysterio and some others. Now, very, very, very pleased with this book so far. All of the bad guys are seemingly getting trapped here. In this panel here, Mysterio says, Mary Jane, you look awful. And she responds, haha, yeah, I'll be okay. The cavalry had perfect timing. Mysterio responds, which one of them did this? She says, Vulture, but to be fair, I hit him first. And I just think, I love that dialogue. I love Mary Jane in this. I love Leah Williams' writing. It is witty in exactly the right places. And she just does a great job writing this whole series so far. So Mysterio goes after Vulture because he is obviously not happy that he had hurt his new friend Mary Jane. So he goes after him, sort of takes care of that situation, and, the bad guys run off. Here we have a little bit more conversation, an important conversation ending not important, but fun ending the book. She says, well, since you're an overachiever and took care of breaking down set for us, I say we go out for sushi. I say to Mysterio, well, are you coming? And Mary Jane, she says, I'm buying. So I just liked it because you have all of this turmoil that goes on all around them, and then, yeah, we're done. The problem solved. We're out of danger. Sushi time. Gotta love it. At any rate, like I said, very impressed with The Amazing Mary Jane. Very impressed with Leah Williams' writings. I don't know if it's Leah or Leah. I apologize if I'm saying that one way wrong or the other. Carlos Gomez's drawing is amazing, and Carlos Lopez's coloring is amazing. I highly recommend anybody to pick this up. This is just fun. That's all I can say. I have so much fun reading through every single one of these books. Actually, last night when I was reading Wolverine #1, it was late at night and I was getting tired, and I was thinking, you know, I'm not grasping this right now, and I put it down for a few minutes, and I thought, you know what, maybe I'll grab something a little bit more lighthearted. Grabbed this, immediately woke up, was immediately cheery and just smiling as I read through the book. So everybody go pick up The Amazing Mary Jane 1 to 5, get number 6, and you're gonna like it. I promise you. So, this is the Son of the Morning. I would very much appreciate it if you would like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you want. If you're going to leave comments, be nice to each other. If you want to make fun of me, that's okay. Go right ahead. I don't care. I can take it. But like I said, like, subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.